Hey YouTube, welcome back to Dwayne's World. So we're doing another scalp. That's right, another scalp. You want to find out why? Well, you better stay tuned. All right, so welcome back to Season 2, Episode 15 here on Dwayne's World. Now, when you guys heard me say I'm going to be doing another scalp, I didn't mean on the backyard. No. What I'll be doing is I'm going to be doing a scalp on my front lawn today. Remember, I have yet to actually do a scalp on the front yard. I really wanted to wait a little bit and allow the Certainty and Celsius combo that I put down to really work and absorb into the foliar. Well, now that some time has passed, I think now is the time we're really going to wake that Bermuda up. But before we get into the actual scalp, let me give you guys a look at the front lawn and the way it sits right now. Now, it's probably been about 12 days, 2 weeks since I sprayed the Celsius Certainty combo to kill off the rye. And as you can tell, it has absolutely done a number on the rye and really killed it in a lot of different areas. Now, you do see a lot of green, and you may believe that this is still the rye, but it's not. Let me go ahead and zoom in here to the canopy and give you an example of what you're actually looking at here. So as you can see here, a lot of this is actually Bermuda that's coming up, and that's exactly what we want as we go into the growing season. It's heating up and the Bermuda is really waking up. Let me give you another example of where the Bermuda is really starting to come alive here, just to show you guys it's not the rye. As you guys can see, along the concrete, I have runners. And that is just telling me the Bermuda is ready. And when I do this scalp, it's gonna allow more sunlight. It's gonna allow more heat to get down into the canopy, which is exactly what Bermuda loves and needs in order to really green up and thicken up. So with that, let's go ahead and get on to the scalp. All right, so this is what we'll be using today to do the scalp on my front lawn. This is a Tru-Cut C-25. Has a 25-inch 7-blade reel. It's also equipped with the reel roller's front groove roller. I just have the basket on here right now just because we will be catching the clippings. It does have a Honda GX 160 motor. Now, for those of you that are new to my channel, you may not know, but this mower actually does not belong to me. This belongs to a buddy of mine. But I have featured it here before on Dwayne's World. I did my backyard scalp, my pre-scalp, and it's really, really an awesome mower. One that I'm still currently possibly looking at and picking up in the very near future, just because I love the way it scalps. I love the way it really just powers through the grass. You know, I have not really used it on actively growing Bermuda on my lawn. Its ability to scalp is better than any mower I've ever used in the past. And with that, let's go ahead and get on with our scalp. All right, so the height of cut, I'm gonna kind of work it down. Looks like it's about 4 notches higher than the lowest setting. Now, I know this particular setting here is a 1/2 inch, and that's what I'm gonna try to go for when I do my final pass. say it every time I use that TruCut. I gotta get me a TruCut. He's an absolute beast. Let's go ahead and take a look here. As you guys can see here, I wasn't even going for stripe action, but it does a phenomenal job laying down some stripes. Let me turn it around here, give you guys a better view. All right, so let me come around to the other side of the lawn here, give you guys a little bit better look at the stripe action. Again, I'm not necessarily going for stripe action, I'm trying to scalp it, but it definitely does a phenomenal job laying down some stripes. Now, stripe action is not going to necessarily be perfect. I was kind of going around the tree, but I am going to change up the direction here when I do a second cut. Drop down the height of cut. I would guess that the height of cut is somewhere between 3/4 and 1 inch right now. You know, probably 7/8 if I had to guess. But again, we're going to continue to drop it down. And this is important, you know, and this is why a lot of people do not like to scalp. So we're already kind of at that point where most people have already done a scalp on their Bermuda lawn. But because of the fact that I had the perennial rye, I purposely delayed it, wanted to allow that herbicide to really go to work on the ryegrass. In this way, I knew by coming back afterwards, I'll still be able to do a scalp. Now, you can scalp pretty much any time throughout the growing season with Bermuda, as long as you're okay with the lawn looking like, you know, a little rough for the 2 weeks before it actually grows back in. But, you know, I'm going to go ahead and drop down the height of cut. This is, again, an example when you do a scalp. You don't want to necessarily go straight to your lowest setting. You can, but it's really going to make things a lot more difficult for yourself, much more difficult for the mower. So even though I'm sure the TruCut can do it, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop it down little by little by little until I get to about that 1/2 inch. And then again, just like in the backyard, I'll be probably maintaining somewhere between 5/8 and 3/4 inch. And with that, let's get on to the second scalp. This is about how much grass has come off thus far. A little under a 1/2 bucket, I would probably say. You know, the TruCut, not that I don't love this machine, but the front grass catcher doesn't catch as much grass as it would appear based on the size of the bucket. So I would probably estimate it's about 2/3 to 3/4 full, just based on the design. But let's go ahead and take a look at the lawn here. All right, so with this particular pass, as you guys saw, I went ahead and mowed in this direction. You know, my first pass, I mowed in that direction. I think for the last pass, I'm probably just gonna go on an angle like this. I think that'll help clean it up really nice. You know, I don't necessarily feel like I have to go down to dirt. I just wanna get a lot of the dead debris out of the lawn. You know, as you guys can see here, still quite a bit of green, but that's okay. You know, I don't think you always have to go all the way down to dirt. Back and you take a look at my overseeding video, you know, I really beat up this front lawn. You know, I did the scalp, I did the verticut, I did a scarify, I did a dethatch. So really there should not be a whole lot of excessive debris, you know, in my lawn. Now, of course, I have the rye that I killed off, but it's not like in years past where the Bermuda, you know, just kind of stayed there year after year after year. I felt with that last overseeding and the preparation of it, it really cleared out my lawn. And my hope is that by doing that, it's really kind of setting this season up to really have a great result. And we'll have to just wait and see. Only time will tell. And with that, let's go ahead and get on to the third pass. All right, so the last thing I need to do is I do need to clean up my edges here. So I'm gonna grab my rotary power scissors. But before I do that, let me go ahead and show you guys what the lawn looks like after this third scalp. Let's go ahead and take a look here. And I went ahead and mowed in this direction here, as you guys can tell by the stripe action. Definitely looking on point. Let me go ahead and zoom out my camera just to give you guys a little bit of a better view of the entire lawn. Now it's looking a little bit better there. Very, very happy with the way the scalp came out. So excited to be able to transition now into the growing season. Very happy with the way the lawn's looking and how quickly the TruCut made work of this scalp. All right, so the last thing I want to do before I go ahead and wrap up today's video is throw down some fertilizer. A lot of people after doing the scalp may choose to go with a balanced fertilizer, such as maybe a 10-10-10 or 12-12-12. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the same fertilizer I was using throughout the entire growing season of the perennial rye here on my front lawn, which is Lebanon Turf's Humic Max. The formulation is 1608. Now the reason why I'm choosing to go with the 1608, the 0 in those three numbers refers to the phosphorus. Whenever I've done a soil test in the past, my phosphorus levels have always been really, really high. So the last thing I need to do is add a fertilizer that has more phosphorus in it. That's why I choose to go with Lebanon Turf 1608. Now I could have also used the PGF Complete that I used in my back lawn and there would be no problem with that. However, I really do like the Lebanon Turf fertilizer. I still have some left over, so I figured, you know what, let me go ahead and kickstart my front lawn using the Lebanon Turf, and I think I'm going to get a really, really good result. And with that, let's go ahead and throw it down. All right, so as you guys can see here, the prill size is really, really small. I absolutely love that about the Lebanon turf. It works out as a great fertilizer to really get down into the canopy. All right, so all that's left now is to go ahead and water in that humic max. Now my lawn has not seen any rain or irrigation for about 4 weeks now. Definitely have not had anything since I had done the Certainty Celsius combo to really allow that herbicide to go to work. But now that I threw down the fertilizer, absolutely need to make sure we water it in. Here in Southern California, we do not get very much rain, especially during the summer months. And that's why we have to rely on irrigation to get to the 1 inch of water that Bermuda really needs to thrive during the summertime. Now the sprinklers that I'm using are made by Rainbird. They're the Rotary sprinklers. They really look really cool. Get a lot of attention as people are walking by, driving by. But they're also meant to water save as well. They work especially well when it's windy. Versus a fan spray. They use a jet stream that works in a rotary action, as you guys can see there. And they're adjustable in both the throw and being able to get, wherever you need water on the part of the lawn. Now they're adjustable anywhere from, I believe, 45 degrees all the way to 270 degrees. So if you have any weird shapes in your lawn, against any type of concrete, really helps you dial in where you need that water. I absolutely love those Rainbird sprinkler heads. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. As always, it's always fun being able to put them together for you. If you did enjoy it, please give me a thumbs up. Comment down below. I read every one of the comments and respond back to everybody that does have a question or concern, whether it's a positive comment or a negative comment. I'm always wanting to know what people are thinking, so I definitely appreciate whenever people do comment on my video. If you'd like, you can also email me at the email address that I have in my description, so that way, if you have any questions that are probably a little more in-depth, I can get into a conversation with you guys and be able to help you out with whatever you need. And as always, be excellent and party on.